I think what Zanster did was perfect. Pulling off gas and just massing Zerglings and Spines. I think that was like the best response because you don't have enough time to get out Roaches or Banelings, anything gas-oriented. The defense? Yeah, I think you've got to play gasless. I think you don't have time. Yeah. I get you, dude. I feel you. All right, guys, up here in the top left-hand side, up a game in this series. The German hero of Protoss. I like to call him the European machine. The German innovation. Because if there's one player who just perfects his builds and just has like the sickest mechanics and just executes the same thing over and over and people know it's coming and he still kills them, it is this guy. Representing Armor Team, it is Showtime. Of course, the difference is Showtime does actually show a little bit more personality. He's a little bit subdued sometimes in interviews. Like, he doesn't go out there and be like, I'm gonna fucking destroy my opponents. But at the same time, he's actually like one of the fittest, most well-built pro gamers. I think he's the one we want to stick on all the posters. Like, you know, some mainstream media outlet comes and wants to do some interviews, we show them Showtime. We're like, this is what pro gamers look like. Just this tall, good-looking, muscular fucking German dude that also wins tournaments, you know? We hide the scrawny people like myself, the nerds with their thick glasses because they've ruined their vision from reading too many books and playing video games too much. But anyway, of course the German powerhouse does have to make it through this guy down here in the bottom right-hand side in the red. Down a game in this series, but back on his map pick, and he's shown he's very good on his map picks. Representing Storm Gaming, the longest intro of all time. Let's draw this out a little bit longer. He is Swedish. His name is Anton. It is Zanster. Well, we all have our own tastes, and everything's subjective. Dreamcast. Personally, I think Showtime's the poster boy, but I think Special, he could be up there as well. Especially after, honestly, Special's play does actually get me very excited lately. I'm not the most normal person though, you know. I get excited by high-level StarCraft plays a little bit too much. Ooh, okay. Showtime does see the drone, doesn't go to block, and Zanster sending his drone out very early. It's interesting. So Snoot likes to take this hatch without delaying any drone production on about 33 supply. Let's look at the details, guys. I'm a giant nerd and I like that. Now he's gonna go for a 30 supply hatch. Okay, this is what I normally go for, like the 30 supply hatch. You'll notice he has a few lava sitting there, which he didn't have minerals to spend immediately because of that. Nonetheless, you know, either way, it's just a very small preference thing with how fast you go for that hatch. And he's got the third queen on the way. So notice he's got one queen at the front to shoo the adept as he comes in. One here to intercept any shade if it does potentially come up that ramp. Because this is the area where a shade often finishes and the adept kind of runs off, but this is going to try and get damage on it if that happens. And that third queen will pop out in the main, and then he can start kind of putting creep down here, and this queen can move to inject the natural. So on top of it, absolutely here is Zanster. Perfect defense, just droning, building overlords. And his overlord at the front. I love this positioning, by the way. He says, look, if a stalker comes out, I can make it to the high ground in time. But in the meantime, I'm going to see everything happening in your wall off. This overlord goes in the main. Once again, Phoenix first for Showtime. Now remember, guys, this is what SOS showed recently as well. SOS has been loving Phoenix first because it just puts the Zerg player in the dark. And look, I'm not even sure why there's a stalker as well as the Phoenix. But it just seems to be the, like, yeah, get out of my base. Like, you're not going to get anything done. The Stalker does help defend elevators and drops later on as well, I guess. So, not a bad choice. Back, another Twilight Council. Okay, so it looks like another Glaive Adept timing could be following this up. We've got an Evo Chamber down here for Zanster and a very fast melee upgrade. Now, what's really cool about melee Zerglings up against Glaive Adepts is they both shred each other incredibly fast. Definitely the Adepts, I would say, is the more favored unit. Nice pickup again. Good combo harass. Ooh, doesn't find the Maynarding drone though. Could have found that Maynarding drone. Good Spore Trick to save the second worker there. Doesn't take any hull damage though. Both in healthy condition. Showtime just doing what he can to find any damage. He's getting the gases up on his natural. He will be moving out to take that third, no doubt. Glaives has started. Nothing in the wall just yet for Showtime, but there we go, 7 Adepts on the way. I think he's going to push across with a small number of Adepts, but that is a ton of Zerglings, guys. That is a ton of Zerglings. They can actually fight this. No, Anton, that's not enough Zerglings just yet. I don't think that's enough. He's going to get one Adept, but he's going to lose a ton of Zerglings for this. Anton being a little bit quick to jump the gun there. I think, I mean, I get wanting to surround the Adepts before Glaives finish, but he didn't quite have the numbers. I think Anton thought he had a few more Zerglings than he did, miscalculated slightly. We've all made that mistake. And now these Adepts coming across, and all they're doing is posturing right now. Glaives isn't done. Showtime knows that. He doesn't actually want to fight. He just wants to stop Zanster from droning. He's like, just build heaps of units, build heaps of units. And when I do actually have Glaives, then I'll look for a fight, but I won't overcommit to it. I'm going to wait for more Adept reinforcements. Actually, these guys will probably have to go defend that third base as these Zerglings do come in there. We've got Adepts. Oh, you see, look at this. Yeah, he does the let's shade out. So he goes in, one Adept gets surrounded and goes down. Another Adept does fall, but the rest will shade out of there. The Zerglings are on the hunt. These are melee Zerglings. No, the melee upgrade isn't done yet. Zanster, once again, fighting just before melee finishes. These Glaive Adepts shredding the Zerglings. Good little surround there, but a lot of these Adepts do escape on low hit points. Zanster is still so set on surrounding this. He's like, I need to kill these units, goddammit. I need to stop this third going up. But Showtime has just been non-stop on the Adept production. And I think Showtime at this point, like the units lost, guys, it tells the story. Showtime's up 10 workers and he's maintaining these Adepts. I mean, if Zanster just pulled back and hit his Zerglings, maybe, but he keeps showing his numbers. And this is why Showtime keeps seeing it and just going, oh, you're making even more units? And he just backs off. And he just backs off every single time. Now at the third, we've got sentries, we've got an Oracle on full energy, and smart move by Showtime. He says, dude, you've traded so many units into me poorly. I know you need to build more units. If you don't build more units, you're screwed. You're not going to be able to defend if I did commit with the Adepts. When there's 8 Glaive Adepts outside your base, no Zerg player just sits there and says, I'm going to build drones right now? No, he knows Anton was building more fighting units. So he says, let's just pull back, not let you use those fighting units, and let's enjoy this beautiful worker lead. Observer sees a ton of Zerglings coming across the map. Interestingly, it is muscular augments for Zanster. So opting for my style of Hydralisk attack, where the Hydras are going to be able to move faster rather than attack further. So he's going for movement speed over attack range. Zerglings are going to come in on that third, but there's already a Colossus out. And I tell you, Colossus and Force Field is exactly what you want against Zergling Hydra timings. That's going to be very nice, especially with all these Glaive Adepts in there. Beautiful ranged army. We've got Hydras and Banelings coming in. It's a 41 drone attack from Zanster. It is desperate. He's up 10 army supply, but dude, this is such a good defense here. We got Zerglings looking to flank into the natural, but they're not really finding an avenue right now. These Adepts and Sentries going to move back over that side. They're going to clean up that attack on the wall. A gateway goes down. Showtime's like, I don't even know if I care that much. I've got a cannon going up. He's like, I'm just going to bide my time. I've got a second Colossus on the way. It's halfway done. I've got Blink +1, Thermal Lance all finishing soon. You know, Showtime is up on 66 probes against 41 drones. Every second that goes by right now, he knows Zanster is falling further and further behind. These Zerglings and Hydras are going to try and break down this wall. They are going to finally get in there, and this is it. Maybe Zanster's found an opening. The Colossus accidentally steps on the force field and lets those units kind of run in as they want. Zerglings coming in here. A few Banelings actually going to find the mineral line. Showtime with an uncharacteristic screw up finally gets back over here. He's already lost a whole lot of probes though in that main base as well. Finally is cleaning that up. These units are going to try and get on top of those Zerglings as they come out of stasis. More Banelings trying to get in the worker line. Is he going to be able to get a good pull by Showtime? I think those probes are just going to need to take out these gas workers, yeah. These Zerglings in the stasis trap do go down. Zanster, he's the multi-pronged god, but I think Showtime might just be a little bit too strong for our Swedish Zerg player this game. I mean, it just started off with him misengaging on those Adepts, right? And then he just kept engaging with just not quite an early enough surround, not quite a good enough engage. He's going to come in with a nice angle here, a few decent Baneling hits, but the shield battery is quick to heal up a lot of that. Great force fields trapping the Hydras and Banes, the flanker Zealots and Colossus from the left-hand side as well. And that'll be that. GG, very well played there. Showtime just shuts that down, man. I think Zanster needs to shift gears. I think mechanically, execution-wise, Showtime's been just a little bit better than Zanster, but I think decision-making-wise, in terms of the builds, it feels like Showtime is definitely kind of grabbing some edges here by just kind of going for these Adept builds. He's seen that Anton loves his Zergling pressure, and he says, look, if I just commit to a good amount of Adepts, I know I can kind of take that momentum off you. Whereas we've seen Zanster, when he gets the Zerglings finding damage, he finds momentum. He starts opening up little avenues, and his opponent's the one who starts making mistakes. But we see here, Showtime's just so well prepared at every stage, man. It is Anton's pick. What maps are left? Okay, Eastwatch, Black Pink. So we've played 4 maps. There should be one more that I'm not thinking of. So we have Catalyst, Black Pink, and Neon Violet. Neon Violet is the other one. Yep. Showtime remembered it. Eastwatch, Blackpink, and Neon Violet are the maps to the left, and these are all pretty damn good defensive macro maps, guys. So I know Anton's like, oh god damn. He's like, I've used up a lot of my maps. I've lost my map picks, and when you start losing your map picks, things can get a little bit hard. So we're gonna have to see how we go. Acid was the first game of the series, Big Fox. Actually a really good game. I think that was the best game so far. Unfortunately, Zanster forgot the range upgrade on the Hydras. He still almost broke Showtime. He killed Showtime's third, knocked him back to 3 bases in the late game, got him down to like 25, 30 probes. And, okay, let's do it. Good luck, have fun, guys. I'm really hoping Zanster wins this game. Yesterday, we had Zerg win 4-1, Snoot over Harston. I'd like to see Zanster win at least 1 or 2 more games, make this series nice and close. Let's see what he can do on Eastwatch. Let's see if he dies to rocks like I did 2 days ago. Oh, I don't know if any of you guys saw that clip. It was really, really painful. Thank you so much, Faith Legs, for the 5-month resub. Extreme Stream with the tier 1 sub as well. Let's get that overlay going. Guys, down here, bottom left-hand side, up 3-1. 1 game away from sealing the deal in this show match. An absolute master of the game, representing Armor Team. It is Showtime. Showtime having a bit of a tough year last year, but he's back in form now. Well on his road to making it to BlizzCon 2018. Psystorm Gaming, so Zanster, up here in the top right-hand side. You can tell he also praises Mr. Juanito. Raise your Doritos to help Juanito. Sure, Zanster was there in chat, spamming out his Dorito copy pastas while Special was playing at BlizzCon. I think Anton can do really well on this map. This map's really interesting, guys. Oh, damn! The Muslim! Thank you so much, Ben. Really appreciate the 879 viewer host. I mean, even Gandalf's nodding his head in appreciation. He's going to step aside, let you all pass before he assumes his position. Back is the gateway of the stream. What do we got? What do we got? Probe's just gonna come in. Let me guess. It's the exact same opening for Showtime. Who would have ever guessed? Like I said, he's the Protoss innovation. Loves doing the exact same opening, but he does actually have a lot of variations. I mean, we've talked a bit about how innovation leveled up his game by actually having variety in his builds in the last year or two. Showtime, I think, from the very beginning, always had a good variety. Like he'll do the same opening every game, but he'll have like 16 different branches. He's like, I have 4 different Adept timings. I have, you know, my Archon drop into Charge Lot. I have my Archon drop just into Macro. That last game, we saw him go off the Adepts into Sentries and Colossus. It's the variety from Showtime and his kind of confident execution of it, which makes it very hard to play against him. And yeah, I mean, he's just been doing really well in this series. Of course, I do think Zanster's build could have worked last game, guys. Doing a low worker count, +1 melee Ling Flood, and just wrapping around the Adepts. Because Showtime would have pushed across that map with that first Adept pressure. And if Anton was a bit more patient, he could have waited for another round of Zerglings, waited for the Adepts to get to his side of the map, and he still would have been able to engage them before Glaives finished. And if he got the surround and just killed like the first 6 Adepts, I can tell you it takes the wind out of the sails. Showtime would be way behind after that. And it really just shuts down his pressure. And that would leverage into Zanster being able to hit that Hydralisk timing as the follow-up much earlier. Instead, he was so far behind. He still made it quite close with the Hydra Baneling multi-prong, but he was just so far behind in workers. It was like he needed to take the sickest fights, and Showtime's not going to miss that many force fields. He's not going to misposition his units that many times. So we do have an Oracle first this time, guys. No Phoenix. Now, that might be partly because the Stargate is so recessed on this map. It's so far back. We've got a pylon there spotting the drop as well. I mean, that That's a suspect Overlord and 8 Zerglings if I've ever seen one. Showtime with the map hacks. This is like, I'm gonna build a pylon right underneath. He sees it. It's morphing. What's the response? I think the Oracle is just gonna go have to deal with that. Oh, he didn't shade. He didn't shade with that Adept. Okay, it is going to be a huge Ling Flood all in. That Oracle's going to have to turn on its laser beam. That really sucks here because that Overlord over there will be able to drop. These 2 Adepts need to get home. He's got to cancel that. He's got to cancel that. If he can't get those Adepts inside the wall, then he's screwed. There we go. Okay, the Adepts are inside. Phoenix is dealing with the Overlord, but not quite on time. It's taking a lot of damage. That pylon's going to go down there. The wall up is fine here. This Overlord has managed to drop. It won't get any more drops off, though. And these Zerglings are loose in the main base. Zanster starting to find some damage. Remember, guys, he's at half the worker count. He needs to massacre this. He's not quite finding the damage just yet, but the wall is starting to take huge damage. And that Oracle is out of energy. The next Oracle is nowhere near done. Here we go. That's what he needed. The Zergling wraparound from inside the wall. The shield battery goes down. The Ling Flood is in. More and more Lings are coming across the map. There's not enough energy on these Oracles. Another Oracle is almost out, but the probes are starting to get overwhelmed. Showtime in big trubs right now. That one Adept on red hit point does go down. The Zerglings are in, but Showtime, is he going to get the wall? No, more Zerglings are in the base. The wall in does not get down, and this is where the damage happens. The drones start up for Zanster. I think Zanster's done it. I think he's going to get himself a very nice lead here. The Oracle turns on its laser beam, promptly runs out of energy in that natural. This Zergling still loose in the main. Looks like it will go down. These Zerglings in the natural going to pick off even more workers. I mean, Showtime might be able to recover from this if he can not take any more probe losses. There's a small chance for him. Simply because he's got the Phoenix and the Oracle out, right? So he can do counter damage. But these Zerglings are still being annoying. Showtime's still struggling right now. And we've already got Spore Crawlers up. And most importantly, a gold third hatch behind this for Zanster. So even though Zanster's going to be frustrated by losing this Overlord, I mean, he really needs to get these other Overlords off the map as well, actually. Every Overlord counts in this sort of low economy follow-up situation. We've got an extra gateway in the main base. So that's just 2 gates. And with the double Oracle, these are Showtime's one hope. Like, this is the Obi-Wan, and this is Kenobi right here. And Showtime is Princess Leia, and he's like, you're my only hope. Because if these guys don't come in and save the day, Showtime is going to just fall way behind. Because this economy is going to blossom. Look at the income tab in the top left-hand side. 2,500 minerals a minute to just 1,400. Already up 11 workers, and about to explode into even more. Because Showtime doesn't have a very easy way to secure a third. Oracle's going to come in. They are going to get 3 worker kills, 4 worker kills. And they're going to look for more. Yeah, he knows he needs more damage, but he's going to lose an... Ooh. Ooh. Is that out of range? I think that's out of range. There's a lot of dead space. Nice recall. Nice recall. I love that move. Recalls the Oracles back home to the main base. Has 3 gateways up and is now going to prepare to take that third base. Look at this wall in. That's just asking to be Baneling busted, isn't it? Oh, no! No! Oh, Zanster finds the surround. But Showtime, dude, oh, look at this Zealot. He's got 2 broken bottles in his hand. There's 18 angry dudes in the pub running at him. And he scares them off, but it's actually because the Popo rocked up over here, the Oracles, and chased him off. So this is like, oh, cool. I mean, Showtime, he's okay. He's stable on 2 bases. Like, he's got a Forge and a Twilight. Yeah, there's a 4th on the way. Zanster's up like 15 workers. Yeah, his lair's kind of late, but he's got melee. He's got a Baneling nest. I think killing those 3 Adepts in that sentry was so big, and oh my god. This Overlord I was talking about that was rallying all the way across the map has actually transformed into a Dropper-Lord. Is he just going to wait? Is he going to wait for Showtime to be distracted? I think he should just go now, to be honest. It looks like he's going to try and slow down the third at the same time. He's got a few Oh, 26 more Zerglings. Yeah, he's like, look, this hasn't been spotted. This Phoenix. Do your job, Phoenix. Do your job. Ah, it's patrolling down there looking for drops that are going to come later in the game. 2 Oracles, 4 Adepts. More than enough to defend this, but this is where Showtime says, oh, god damn it, who dropped the soap? Because there are way too many Zerglings in his back door right now. Adepts are getting surrounded here. He needs to fight with the probes, I think. The Oracles are coming back. These Zerglings managed to kill a sentry at the wall off as well. The Oracles will clean this up. But, dude, this is so annoying for Showtime. Actually, I mean, this is like the best defense you could hope for. Showtime's such a god. Honestly, it's the same as a lot of his games against Serral. Even though he ended up losing them in the finals, he was always making them close, even when he was down like 80 supply for most of the game. Showtime is the god of defense. I don't know, we gotta give him like a really good nickname about how good his defense is. Can we just call him the Fortress? Can we nickname Showtime the Fortress? Because Even though, look, he's going to lose the third. He's going to go down. But, like, he actually just defended that way better than I expected. Finally does end up losing the third. If he spotted the drop, I think he actually holds onto this third just fine and actually stabilizes and is back in the game. But that sneaky, sneaky extra overlord coming across as a drop was definitely the problem there. There is a gap there. You got to force field that, buddy. Yeah, that adept wasn't placed quite right. He's morphing in more sentries, living up to his name. The fortress is deciding to just wall off and try to defend. It's not really going to work when 13 Hydras are on the way already. Bane speed. We've got muscular augments. He loves muscular augments before groove spines. So cool to see the difference. Snoot always favoring the range upgrade. But Zanster, more of a very multi-prong aggressive focus player. I was talking about how if you're playing against sentries and stalkers, the sort of army where you want to wrap around it and close with it, I was saying to Snoot, I think muscular augments is the better upgrade because your Hydras can close the distance. Even though they can't shoot over force fields, it's so much better for like flanking and coming in from multiple sides. Snoot was like, I will always prefer groove spines. Like, I don't agree. And I was like, yeah, fair enough. And I was like, I probably tend towards just following his opinion since he's a much better player than I am. But it's cool to see Zanster here just saying, nah, man, muscular augments all day. The funny thing is he going to remember groove spines this game? Okay, this game he does remember it. Oh my god, the stasis traps. Nice force field. Single Baneling gets through, gets a nice little hit. No Overseer for high ground vision, so he's going to have to just wait for those force fields to run out. 64 drone economy against a 49 probe economy. Immortals, Archons, and Zealots coming in. I love Showtime's tenacity. He's like, we're just playing... he thinks he's playing They Are Billions, you know? But he was not quite ready for this wave. He's just... Nope. He's like, I'm going to build an extra layer of wall off. Need a few ballista towers here. Maybe some other stuff. He's got a Zealot counter attack. Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? Showtime fighting for his life here. The melee Zerglings do well. Oh, great pickup at the last second. Oh, look, he's going to force field the ramp. Is this not the cutest, most adorable thing you've ever seen? He's like, you're a ha ha ha. I'm actually going to do a lot of damage here, and you can't deal with it. And Zanster's like, are you kidding me? Get the oh, he's got to chain it. He's got to chain it right now. Beautiful timing. 1.5 seconds before the previous force field disappeared. Does get that down. Lifts up the sentries for safety as well. Needs to drop another. You need to drop it right now, dude. There we go. Beautiful timing. Man, he's like the human metronome. He knows exactly when those force fields are going to run out. Tries to push out across the middle of the map at the same time. Zanster's like, dude, I never even went home. My reinforcements can deal with that. He starts rolling through that. Another force field goes down, but some units did get up there. Looks like the Zealots have been mostly overwhelmed. One tech structure goes down. I think it was the infestation bit. This defense is pretty epic. Man, Showtime. The fortress. The fortress. Fighting is oh, look at this. He's even redropping into the gold base. The main base finally gets cleaned up and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill your gold now. Showtime. Showing he's got the moves, showing he's got the tenacity. And you know, this is one of these things where like as Zanster, you're just like, this guy is just so hard to kill. I've been so ahead for so long in this game, I just can't finish him. And this is frustrating, dude. Like, you know you've got it, and I'm sure an experienced player like Zanster isn't tilting. But I think it's almost a confidence booster for Showtime to just say, you know what? I did way more with those units than I possibly could. But eventually, guys, the fortress does crumble, does go down. And Tobias Ironside Seba. Is it Seba or Cyber? I always say Seba. Cyber. Any Germans in chat can let me know. But awesome to see Zanster pulls back a game, brings it back to 2-3. So, you know, Showtime's still just one map away from finishing. And we're going to see a macro game, guys. Do you know how I know that? Showtime's picked Neon Violet Square. Who would have ever expected a Protoss player to pick this map? Oh my. It's almost like they like maps where you get 3 bases for free and your opponent can only attack you by dropping. What's that? A little bit of salt. A little bit of salt on my skin. Yeah, I find this map really hard to break very good defensive players. It's a fantastic aggressive map. It's Cyber? Okay, it is Cyber. Alright, so Tobias Ironside Cyber. He can't be wounded in combat, yeah. He's like the son of Ragnar, Bjorn in Vikings, right? Alright, good luck, have fun. Let's just wait for that ready from Zanster. A fantastic comeback there from Zanster with a big Ling Flood all in. Showtime, I think getting his adept stuck outside his wall, especially his first adept in the wall for just a little bit too long, was a big No problem, my man. Great games so far. Keep it up, dudes. Who's the budget fortress? So who has kind of good defense but not that great? I don't know. Is Avillo? Avillo's like the factory outlet fortress. He's like Avillo some form of plastic Ironside. You know, I don't know. Is Avillo like the budget fortress? I don't even know, man. The garbage juice fortress. Who else is like a very defensive player? I don't know. Mineral Thief? I love that Mineral Thief is such a meme now. So for anyone watching this who's like, who the hell is Mineral Thief? He's this weirdo who trolls in like Gold and Platinum League by just massing spine crawlers or cannons and just covering the entire map in them and never actually building fighting units unless it's like Mass Oracle or something like that to troll his opponents. He's actually just a psychopath. The Ted Bundy of StarCraft, the Jeffrey Dahmer of StarCraft, as he's been nicknamed. Down here in the bottom right-hand side, guys, one game away from sealing the deal in this show match. Now on his map pick, a map where I'm sure he's going to show us some ridiculously strong play. In the blue, it is Team Armor's Showtime. It's Showtime, baby. Up here in the top left, a player who I think a few people underrated going into this show match, but like I said from the start, I was like, I have confidence that Zanster can beat Showtime. His ZvP is out of this world, almost eliminated need from WCS. I think he's going to have a fantastic run in the next couple of seasons and tournaments. So this is definitely the Zerg player to keep your eye on, guys. It is Psystorm Gaming Zanster. Do I need a Mineral Thief emote? I don't know. What would that even be? What would the Mineral Thief emote even be? Actually, oh, you know what? I didn't get a chance to upload my new Creep Overlord emote. Damn, I was gonna do that last night, but I had too much stuff to do. I guess I'll have to debut that when I get back. Today is the last day I'm streaming, guys, before I go off to Korea. I'm going to the Olympics. Esports at the Olympics for the first time. It's gonna be kind of incredible. Obviously, it's not like an official Olympic sport, but I gotta get the deets. I know it's like organized with the Olympic Committee and stuff, and it is gonna be an IEM with players from all over the world, so that's gonna be an epic adventure. Right now I'm in the middle of summer. You guys who watch my stream regularly would know that often by the end of my stream I'm a sweaty heap of disgustingness because I'm an idiot who doesn't have air conditioning. And I'm gonna be going from that into minus 15, minus 20 degrees weather. I'm literally going to die. I'm going to just be like, what the? I'm just gonna step off the plane. I'm gonna freeze instantly. Like I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna be that idiot who's like, oh, I'm gonna lick this telegraph pole. And my tongue's gonna stick, get ripped off. I'm not gonna be able to even commentate the tournament. It's actually gonna be a nightmare. But I'm gonna try my best to enjoy it. I'm getting some thermals and stuff to stop myself from freezing. I'm bringing my pair of gloves, which I use once a year when I'm skiing. And I say once a year, I mean once every decade, since I've been skiing once in the last decade. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like it's going to be Stalker first. We're going to see a Phoenix first out of this Stargate. You can always tell that's going to happen, because if Showtime goes for the Stalker, he always opens up with the Phoenix. Whereas if he goes Double Adept, it's Oracle first. Cool little patterns that we're seeing opening up in Showtime's play. And where is that Stalker? In the main base. Okay. These Zerglings. Oh, how many? 10 Zerglings. Ah, it's going to be a 10 Zergling run by. Okay, so I think Zanster's kind of like, you know what? Oh, he's looking for the Adept. He wants to get this around. Oh, it doesn't let him get in the grid. Is he going to get it? Oh, yes. Nice around. This Phoenix is hunting for the Overlords. And great reaction with that gateway. Says, you know what? Let's just wall the front, leave this side open. We can take this as our third. Maybe he was already planning. He was probably already planning to wall like that with that pylon placement, actually. I thought it was like a clutch thing. He's like, oh, my Stalker's not going to get back to block the choke. Quick, wall it off. This is like classic commentator overhyping what is just the thing the pro player always planned to do anyway and just happened to be good in the situation. Good job, Pig. Good job. Great commentator, dude. You're really good at your job. Spore Crawler is down at the third. We've got another Spore in the natural and a Spore in the main base. Where is that Oracle? Coming across the map right now. Both players tied up in the workers. Oh, sorry guys, I forgot to answer. Someone was asking me earlier. Ooh, let's see. One. Yeah, takes a bit more damage than he would have liked. He could have moved in between his first and second shot, kept some acceleration going, and then he wouldn't have taken much hull damage. Would have skipped probably 2 Spore Crawler shots. Just a slight miss micro from Showtime. Or not really miss micro, just a lazy micro. He's probably just queued it up and then went to look at other things. These Zerglings just kind of posturing. Showtime looks like he will actually opt for the safe third in the back. Of course, the problem with that is you don't get nearly as many charge lots with your army when you go for this. The upside is you get a base and it's defended by your natural wall. So it's actually really good because of that. Oracle looking for drone kills, not really finding anything just yet. He really wants to catch those drones in between the bases. So if you look at Zanster's vision, notice he's always got overlords spotting where the Oracle is. So if an Oracle comes in here, he'll see it. If the Oracle comes in here, this Overlord will see it. Zanster very aware of those weak points where the drones can get caught out away from Queen and Spore coverage. So if he sees the Oracle coming in, he'll quickly react and pull those drones away. By the way, guys, have you heard about the fast Hydralisk Den? Our Lord and Savior. The unit which is most imber. And, ooh, good reaction there at the last second from Zanster. Very good reaction. And, oh my god, he's just going to do another one. Oh, actually gets 4 drones. Yeah, this is really annoying for Zanster. Down here at the same time, guys, it's the Glaive Adept timing. And Zanster's being caught out being a greedy boy. He tried this earlier on today as well and almost got away with it on Backwater. But he got punished hard, and once again, he's going to get punished hard. If these, oh my god, yeah, the drones need to tank. He actually needs to fight with the drones, because if those Adepts get on top of those Hydras, he's screwed. He's got to use Queens, drones, Zerglings, anything to tank for these Hydralisks. So there we go, does manage to shut down a lot of the Adepts. The Adepts are loose in the main base. Remember guys, Showtime is actually just doing a crazy amount of commitment to this with this War Prison. He's still on 41 probes, he's not probing, he's basically going all in. Zanster though, oh, actually on top of these Adepts, they shade into their death. And that's actually something where I think Showtime should have stayed in the main base there. He's got a ton of Adepts warping in. The Hydralisk count is growing. Zanster needs to just keep these Hydralisks alive. You're going to notice he's using the Queens with them. If the Adepts ever come forward, he needs to pull back his Hydras. And yep, notice the Queens are always trying to be in front of the Hydras. But no, this shade is it. That's the shade that Showtime was looking for. All these Hydras exposed. The Oracle comes in and does damage. And there goes Zanster's damage output. It just gets absolutely squished there. Ignoring the Queens is Showtime. He says, yeah, they'll just tank too much damage. He's like, let's just focus fire these units. This Phoenix coming in, starting to kill Overlords as well. Another round of Adepts warping in. And this is what you've got to do, guys. If Zerg players are rushing to Hydras, if they're skipping a Baneling Nest, if they're skipping a Roach Warren, kill them with Adepts. Or with Archon Charge Lot. Usually Adepts, because it's the easier, faster option. It's a great way to play. Showtime punishes the greed of Zanster there. 2 games in that series. Does manage to close it out 4-2. And, you know, Zanster, I tell you guys, if he got away with this rush in one of these games, either that Neon Violet or Backwater, I guarantee you there would have been a huge shift in momentum in that series, because suddenly Showtime would be like, God damn it, do I need to Adept pressure every game? And if Showtime feels like he needs to stop that greed every game, then he gets screwed over. But what was great from Showtime is on the maps where Zanster was being greedy, that was where Showtime committed the hardest to the aggression. I think on the map where Zanster maybe squandered his edge just a little bit, was Catalyst. If we think about that Catalyst game, guys, I feel like if he waited for those Adepts to come across, Showtime was committing to the Adept aggression that game, but he didn't have that much info. And if the Zerglings were able to surround the Adepts, it would have been able to do it. So that's 4-2 victory for Showtime, guys. He takes the $70 first prize. $30 does go to Zanster. Guys, quickly ask your questions for Showtime and or Zanster. They're not going to get on call, but I'm just going to ask them in text really quickly. Shout out some questions. So we're just going to... so first of all, I'm going to ask Showtime. Okay, so 2 games. Backwater and Neon Violet. Showtime committed hard to the Adept follow-up and caught Anton with no Bane Nest / Roach Warren. Was this a bit of bad luck, good luck, or What went on there? I feel if Anton got away with those openings, he would have been in such a sick spot with mega fast Hydras and sick econ. Fast fourth base, etc. So I'm asking that question in chat. Both can answer. And you guys can shout out any questions. So Goody Goody says, ask which his preferred nickname would be, Demauer or the Fortress? Demauer. Demauer. Alright. Preferred nickname. Does Demauer mean the same thing? Or the Fortress? Showtime says, I just did it because he doesn't seem to go for Overlord speed, and on these maps, he can't scout my third. So, on these maps, because of the Phoenix, so he says, basically he can't see if I'm probing the third, he can't see what units I make, because he doesn't have Overlord speed. My Phoenix can just deny scouting, so he said, look, on these maps, I can just punish by going for Adepts, because I know he can't scout it coming. Do they think the 51 and 59 Hydra timings are dead now with the split upgrade, says Mucius? Well, just to answer that from yesterday, in case, or Musicus, in case you missed yesterday's Showmatch, Snoot was like, did a 53 drone Hydra timing with like just some slow banes and managed to knock Harston down. He said it's still really powerful with the grooved spines, and we were analyzing it and saying basically there are moments in the follow-up after he overwhelmed the third and was pushing forward and trying to continue chasing the army. Some of his units were still attacking the Nexus and the Assimilator, and trying to reposition those units was a lot harder because he didn't have augments. So I think it definitely hurts it. Doesn't manage to slow it down that much. Showtime says, I like Demauer. It adds some German flavor. So I'm actually going to Google Translate Demauer right now. It is just the wall. Okay, the wall. Okay, nice. Tobias Forcefield Cyber. Why is Zanster such a greedy boy, says Kuro Kitsukami. I'm not going to ask that. Be nice. I think on the maps with in-base third, says Zanster, Zerg should probably play Overlord speed. Okay. Awesome. Answers, guys. If Pig plays against Showtime, who wins? Showtime 1,000 times, dude. Showtime basically taught me Protoss. Cruncherino Crunch, thank you so much for that Twitch Prime sub, dude. And Stampede with the 200-bit cheer. Appreciate that, guys. More questions, guys, even if they're a little bit trollish. Zan says, I didn't practice Overlord speed a lot, and Tobias is known as an honorable macro player, which is why I tried to skip it. And of course, try to punish. Showtime says, yeah, at least not quick layer into Hydra. Zan says like, yeah, I watched 2 of your games versus True and Sterile. I saw Archon drop on Neon Violet, and that's kind of why I did it. So basically, if you rush to Hydras against the Archon drop, you kind of hit the Hydras just in time to shut down the Archon drop, and then defend any charge dot follow-up as well, and then you just like, the counter attack is unstoppable. So Zanster was trying to do like a very greedy sort of blind counter thing there on these maps, and Showtime called him out on it. Cool, so that kind of answers the greedy question without me even asking it. So both of you, 51, 59 drone Hydra timings, are they much weaker with split upgrades? Bonus question for Zanster. How did it feel to forget grooved spines in game 1 for 15 minutes? I'm actually such a dick. I'm like, right after he loses this match, I'm just like, so you forgot that upgrade, buddy? How did that feel? Yeah, I'm mean. I'm actually just a mean person. I should really try to work on being nicer. The longer I go from being a pro player, the more I'm just a dick. I'm just like trying to get reactions from players rather than focusing. Zen says, yeah, he's like, it happens way more than I'd like to admit since the patch. So he's just not used to remembering both upgrades because it's only been a few days. Showtime says, I'm not sure about the difference between those early 50-ish drone Hydra timings. He says, I haven't faced them as much in the new patch. It was already kind of going away before the patch. Zen says, yeah, I wasn't winning with it much pre-patch. Showtime says, so I guess it should just be even easier to hold now. So I think it was so common in the meta. The pro players are very good against it, and as a result, they're like very on their toes with it, and they manage to be very good at it. So I think my little bonus bit of information there would be that I think those timings will cycle back in periodically when people aren't as practiced against them, but because people are so practiced against them at the moment, they're not as good. So guys, I did oh man, my back's actually kind of sore. It's weird. So I did pull up. What do you call these ones again? Chin-ups yesterday rather than pull-ups when I was working out. And I feel like it worked out like a different part of my back. It's like a little bit sore in a different area to where it normally is. What's the any workout buffs in chat? Want to give me some info? What's the difference between besides it being more bicep focused? What's the difference between a pull-up and a chin-up and a pull-up? Give me some workout advice. Toss always rush up to 8 gates now and cut probes, says Showtime. Maybe we can make a few more probes now before adding more gates. Okay. Awesome. That's actually super interesting info. Ah. Yeah. That adjustment could be epic. How come we never saw Roach play out of Zanster? So Quizzy, Zanster. How come you didn't go Roaches any games? I'm pretty sure I know what he's gonna say. I don't like playing Roaches, they're not my unit. I've been playing Hydrabane for a while, I'm gonna stick with it. And bonus, what do you think of Cyril's Roach plays from WCS? Pull-ups are more back intensive. That's what I thought, Arjun. You work the lats, pull-ups are more intensive. Yeah, I mean, I prefer pull-ups, but I was like, I should do some chin-ups just to try and do something different. Pull-up looks cooler and sounds cooler, I agree. So pull-ups engage your lats a bit more. Chin-up is your palms facing forward. Pull-ups are when your palms face you, says Shoshadi. I think that might be a different... No. That's up... Isn't that the opposite? Chin-ups are pull-ups for cocks? Well, that... All right. I gotta be more alpha. And I pretty much only do pull-ups. So I did chin-ups for the first time since I was like a kid yesterday. So apparently I'm alpha because I do pull-ups. Thanks, guys. You guys, yeah. Someone was saying that it's this way. Palms facing you is a pull-up. No, that's a chin-up. This is a pull-up. I'm like 99% sure on this one. Sure, Shardy. Yeah. Yeah, everyone in chat's agreeing with me. Good. All right, Zanster says, I was planning to go Roaches on Biogenesis and Catalyst, but I made the Evo out of habit on Cata, and Bio, I didn't get to make anything besides Link Spine. Fair enough. Oh yeah, that Bio game. Showtime. Did you learn that build from Haas? I think Haas goes like 12-13 gate. You went 13-16 gate. Do you think channeling your inner Haas would make it stronger? Lol. Honestly, just looking for any analysis of that game question. Isn't Roach averages still safer for surviving any timing, either Adepts or Archon drops? Says Simeon. Yeah, definitely. And I think for me, I'm playing Roaches every game at the moment. I really like it. As Zanster said, he was actually planning to go Roaches in some of the games, but then one game he just built the Evo out of habit and was like, oh, I guess I'll just get the upgrade and stick with, Zergling Hydra style, because you delay your upgrades if you go Roaches because they're more gas intensive, so you can't afford the early Evo upgrade. Showtime says, oh, I actually copied this build from Trap. I don't think it actually works on Biogenesis. Trap did it on Odyssey, where the Overlord doesn't see the natural until very late. Okay. Cool. But on a Biogenesis, Zerg sees no natural. Do you think further back batteries out of spine range would maybe work for an extended all-in? I feel you were close to getting like 6 Stalkers, at which point with batteries you can snipe spines pretty good. He says, nah, I don't really think it would ever work. Fair enough. Fair enough. Ask Showtime. Showtime. Can you do handstand push-ups? Legit question. Legit question. Glad you guys are enjoying this. Why don't they cheese more, says Smallpox. Was this like a question for all EU pro players in general, right? Question for both. Why don't you cheese more? In brackets, I feel like this is a question for all EU players. It's just like kind of the meta there. Showtime says, I have no clue, lol. So I assume he's never even done a handstand. He's never tried to do a handstand push-up. Okay, you try next workout. Report back to us on Twitter. Why? Okay, we're gonna take the last two questions now and then finish up. Why did Zanster prefer Hydra speed over Hydra range? Oh, great question. I don't know why I didn't ask that. I'll ask that in just a moment. Zanster. Zanster says, I bet Showtime can do at least 20 handstand push-ups. Why muscular augments instead of grooved spines? Yesterday, Snoot swore by grooved spines both offensively and defensively. We're just gonna keep asking Zanster gameplay questions. We're gonna ask Showtime all the questions relating to working out. Showtime. Pull-ups or chin-ups? Pull-ups or chin-ups? The Fortress does not do pull-ups or chin-ups. He only lifts like 400. His own body weight isn't enough to give the Fortress a good workout, man. Zen says, I all-in a decent amount since I was in Korea, but I don't have too many all-ins that I actually like in ZvP. People like Neeb and Showtime play very safe. Fair enough. Showtime says, I don't know about the cheese thing. Wait for his next part of that answer. For players, learning multiple builds is a hard thing. If you had to choose one build to win the most games, which would it be? Says Mad Boy Scout. A dirty all-in. For newer players, I think that's like probably the best way to just get some wins and be like, yeah, I'm killing people. Sorry, I'm going to finish up the questions here because I want to let the players go, guys. So I think Showtime prefers the Archon drop as a more balanced piece of pressure. Boolia? I'll ask him on that one. Showtime says, I don't see the point of doing anything weird. Like, if I know a Zerg gets Overlord speed a lot, for example, there's just no point all-inning. He says, but I do all-in a decent amount, to be honest. You know, he's just not necessarily cheesing off 20 workers. He does a lot of big timing attacks and stuff. Showtime. Is Archon drop your preferred when versing OV speed? And more balanced follow-up? Adepts adjust when you can hide it? Question mark? And that's going to be the last question, I think, for them, guys. Thank you very much, guys. If I missed any questions, do apologize for that. We'll see how we go. Any answer on why they don't cheese more? Yeah, we just got to that one, Smallpox. Why are mutas coming back into the meta? Are they, Zixp? I think it's always just been like a cool thing to mix in here or there. How much do they bench? Oh, yeah. Back on the question about the range, Zanster says, look, if you want to fight an army versus army, one army range is always better for sure, but I mostly use Hydras in small numbers and I counterattack a lot and disengage, pull in and out. So I think if you have a big Hydra army and you want to fight head to head, yeah, you want grooved spines, but if you're doing the maneuvering play, which Zanster does, where he's more focused on counterattacks and multi-prong, that's why he always goes for muscular augments first. So I think that makes perfect sense, guys. Showtime talking about his Archon drop opening as opposed to the Adept opening, he says, look, I just like the Archon drop all around. I think it gets you in a decent position always, I think. So he says, but yeah, I think he's about to say the Adept's kind of a little bit cheekier. Adepts is more when I know someone's likely to skip Overlord speed. So it's like, it's more of a punishing move, whereas Archon Drop is more of a like, I can do this every game. It'll get a bit of damage, force a bit of a reaction. I can regroup at home. The Archons will help in my army. So it's just like a different way to play. Yep. He says, especially when I do the big all-ins with Adepts, it's really nice. He says, I guess Glaive Adept pressure is still fine, even versus Overlord speed, but I'm just in the habit of doing it in those situations. Why do you show the player's hotkey? Or do you mean how? I think you mean how. Control Shift S. I don't think I'm using the WCS overlay though. Aren't I using WC? I'm using GameHeart, guys. Yeah. So I use the GameHeart overlay. Someone was asking me earlier. They were like, "Can you please use GameHeart rather than WCS?" And I was like, "I am using GameHeart, dude." But yeah. Basically, in GameHeart, you do Control Shift. No, not S. G. Control Shift G. Control Shift G. Yeah. Control Shift S is the scoreboard. I'm a dummy. Glaive Adept pressure. Okay, awesome answers, guys. Thanks so much for this. Really appreciate the Q&A and the games.